Tonight for the IMSA Sports Car Series. I am your commentator, Kyle Streichars, bringing you guys the 45-minute endurance race at Watkins Glen International. 45-minute endurance race. We got 3 classes here. This should be very, very interesting. The field is currently rolling down on this 3.4-mile circuit in Watkins Glen, New York. Should be a very action-packed race here, considering we have a very packed field of the Daytona Prototype class, which is definitely one of the powerhouses in this series, with many drivers loving to run in this car. Personally, myself running in the Salem 6 Hours of the Glen iRacing race on Saturday. Should be a very interesting race. Field is currently pacing through the boot with less than a mile remaining left in this pace lap, and then the pace car will pull off onto the pit lane and to get this race underway. Leading the field on the pole, we do have David Weiss in the number 2 Daytona Prototype starting first. This should be a very interesting start. Get a view of the top of the circuit here as the pace car is getting ready to pull off onto pit road to get this race underway.
Hey, wake up.
Pace car ducking off, and we are about to go green flag racing here at Watkins Glen. David Weiss leading the field currently into turn 1, and the number 2 machine up through the S's. Here they go, 2 wide coming up through the S's. Very, very close racing here at Watkins Glen, considering how thin the circuit is. Here they go, 3 wide through the backstretch coming into the bus stop. Weiss still hanging on to the first position, followed by David Scott, Lauren Baderman, Raymond J. Chapman. Let's take a look at our GT field. Currently, Shima McKinney leading in the Steel Series Audi R8, followed by Nicholas Church in the Mercedes. GT cars look very strong in this series. I believe it is the Audi, Mercedes, as well as the Roof. Getting back up to our leaders, David Weiss still leading, almost ready to complete his first lap around Watkins Glen. The top 4 of the Daytona Prototype field is breaking out. We got David Weiss, David Scott, Lauren Baderman, Raymond J. Chapman. Those are your top 4. Moving on back into the 15th position, the number 17, Jim Barney, he started in the 17th position, already up 2 places in this first lap. Very hectic coming into the first turn for the second lap here. 3 wide. Up through the S's, the field goes. Getting back up front, David Weiss, still your leader. Starting to break away a little bit by 7/10 over David Scott.
Hey, wake up.
Take a fall back into the 5th position here in the Daytona Prototype field. JC Tussey with that very colorful paint scheme. Monster Energy sponsored machine. Doing pretty good, running by himself. Currently in the 5th position overall. Back up front in the GT field, Shima McKinney currently 2/10 of a second ahead of Church here. Also, the number 11 car of Francisco Delgado actually fell back a little bit and is trying to make his way up through the GT field and get up front there in his Daytona Prototype. Let's ride along with him. Through turn 1, battling his way up through the GT field. Currently going to pass Nicholas Church, currently running 2nd position in his class. Lots of patience in this multi-class racing because the Daytona Prototypes have such a huge speed advantage over the Mercedes and other GT3 cars that it's a lot of patience involved with this. It's like Delago gets a little bit loose coming through the chute, gets passed by the number 7 car. Let's get back up front with our leader, David Scott, doing a great job leading this race. Having some technical difficulties with our data. Give us 1 second here and we should get these issues resolved. So Weiss still currently in the lead in the prototype class, followed by David Scott. These two are pulling away about 2 seconds ahead of the 3rd place car, which is Raymond Chapman. Haven't talked about the roofs lately. Tyler Stacy currently running 1st position in his class in the roof. No, excuse me, running in 3rd. Mark Schindel is actually the leader in this class in currently running 21st overall. He's got about a 4-second lead over the rest of the field. Or the rest of the roof field, excuse me. '26 car Patrick Howe, a little bit of damage on that front end that will definitely affect aero and top end through the... Oh, as he spins out in the bus stop, the 21 car almost gets collected. He gets a little bit of contact, a little bit of damage, but he is fine. But the 9 car, not a lot of luck for him. Let's take a look at that replay and check this out. Coming around throughout the backstretch, lots of speed carrying through here. Comes through into the very hard braking zone in the bus stop. Looks like he just hits a curb, gets loose, can't quite save it because these cars are very touchy, and spins it out. getting back up to our leader in the prototype field, David Weiss, still dominating this race, leading every single lap. As now we're 10 minutes into this race, let's take a peek at the results so far. So David Weiss currently your leader, followed by David Scott, Raymond Chapman third, Lauren Baderman fourth, JC Tussey fifth, sixth place Jerry Cobb sixth, seventh Brian Batterman, eighth place our current leader in the GT3 field, Shima Mikimi. Moving through here, Forrest Light 11th, Jim Monty 12th, 13th Sean Brian McCormick, 14th Roosevelt Simmons, 15th Eric Shear, 16th Sean Linville, 17th Matt Owens, 18th David Sasser, 19th Dominic Alciu, I butchered that, Paige Spink in 20th, followed by Mark Schindel, 21st, 22nd Patrick Howe, Tyler Stacy, 23rd, 24th, Brian Lee, 25th, John Cox, 26th, Francisco Delongo, 27th, David Berry, and rounding out your field in 28th is David Kelblenau. Take a look at our race summary. Total of 5 laps completed in 10 minutes. So cars are turning around roughly a 1 minute 40 lap, 1 minute 40 second lap around this 3.9 mile circuit. So that is very, very fast. Take a peek at our weather. 89 degrees track temp at a toasty 100 degrees, 72 degrees humidity, and it is mostly cloudy here in Watkins Glen, New York. Falling back to the leader of the GT field, we still have Shima Mikini in first in the number 1 Audi, so I mean number 1 in class, number 1 car, doing pretty good. But Nicholas Church very close behind him, so this should be a very good battle shaping up throughout this race. Take a ride in with Nicholas Church as he's chasing down the number 1 Audi of Mikini. As you can see, the circuit has a lot of fast corners coming out of the boot here. Back onto the NASCAR straight. Coming through the last 2 turns, very high speed turns. No need to brake in these turns, just let off and you will roll through the turn. David Weiss coming through the boot into the hairpin turn on the boot, which is called the toe. Coming up there still with a pretty sizable lead. He got 1.7 seconds over David Scott. Pretty solid run by him so far. Falling back to Mark Seidel in the first place position in the roof. Haven't talked about the roofs lately. Very small field, but these cars, they are very fun, very fast little cars. And the Golf Machine, currently running 20th, and I believe he is the only roof left. So it looks like he has a class win if he can just survive the remaining 30 minutes at this historic track. back up front with our leader as he is about to put the first place rough about a lap down. Still leading, still doing very, very good. Just completely dominating this race. Definitely the class of the field here today. As he's coming around to lap the number 20 car of Brian Batterman. Just ride along with him as he will attempt to overtake and put the 20 car a lap down, coming through the heel of the boot. Lots of speed coming up through the hill. My guess he'll make a move coming out of turn 12, which is the last turn on the circuit. That is 2 turns away. The right-hander a few turns up here. Also, this is going to be very interesting. He's going to have to navigate around a rough as well as a slower Daytona prototype. Sails right by the number 5 Gulf rough. And taking the inside line through turn number 1, the 90, and up the S's with the pass. Still running very clean for the number 2 of David Weiss. Currently leading overall at Watkins Glen. Falling back, really haven't looked in the middle of the GT field. Sean Linville leading this 3-car pack of Roosevelt Simmons and Eric S. Shear. We got 2 Audis and 1 Mercedes doing battle here, coming up through the toe. Lots of speed with these cars. Looks like they are having a blast. Number 22, Roosevelt Sims with a very nice car with a very nice GoPro livery, looking very good. And that Audi.